How many?
How many coughs have I had?
No. Remember, I gave you a limit.
Oh, God. I don't
I think
remember.
it was like 8.
Yeah, you have 8 left.
Get him out. 9 Perfect Strangers. It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's real good.
Is it? No, that's not Oscar Isaac.
Which one?
The
bearded man
dude that looks like Oscar Isaac.
No, that's I can't remember what his name is. It's got hot Jude Law, badass Jude Law.
Michael Shannon?
Is that his name?
No, that's not. Yeah. And then I went to Michael Fassbender.
No, Michael Fassbender's Magneto.
Hey, let's lead in.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Hello, everyone. Welcome. No, too soon.
Oh, now it's in there.
Really had to chug that down. Speaking of caffeine.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody going? How's everybody going? You going good? Going hard? Going fast?
You want to tell them what we're doing today?
Scary movies. Sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're kind of getting a little preempt here for spooky season.
For the spooky season, Tommy's favorite season.
Spooky.
I'm very excited.
I mean, it's a little. I don't want to say premature because we're not premature. We're not.
Keep going, man. Where are you going with that one?
Oh man, yeah. We are doing the top 5 5 movies that scared us that gave us an impact, or it's for childhood, a little bit of childhood. Trying to focus more a bit on the adult life.
Yeah, ones that really resonated.
To be honest with you, Tommy, I actually I did it from what memory can serve as from adult young teen teenager forward.
Yeah,
because
I didn't rewatch any of these for this.
Yeah, no, I didn't rewatch any of them as well because I can think when I was making this list, I was thinking man, I could put Child's Play on here, which is really Child's Play was the first horror movie I ever watched by myself.
Okay. In
my parents' basement when I was 9 years old. And I was terrified. I was scared shitless, But that's fair for a kid to be scared for Chucky,
I mean, you're the perfect age to be scared by.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Isn't the kid 9 or something?
Yeah, exactly. Andy's 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, he's in kindergarten. He's 6.
Oh, it's teeny tiny.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also I watched it in the basement with no lights on, just like
you should.
A
horror movie should be watched.
And then I was also and then I could have also put Nightmare on Elm Street because I for a very long time had reoccurring Freddy Krueger nightmares. Which
is not terrifying.
Is terrifying to think about.
You're in his house now.
Exactly. I have a very specific nightmare memory from when I was really young. I was maybe 10 or 11. And Freddy Krueger had turned into a giant, those push lawnmowers that have the rotating wheel that cut the grass. He turned into a giant one of those, and his head was looming above it, just and it was his mouth was the mower. And as it was chopping, the sound of my alarm became the sound of the chopping. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hearing my alarm be the chopping of the lawnmower, and it's giant, and it's chasing me, and it ran me over. And I woke up just screaming and throwing my body around, and then realized it was, just a dream. And my alarm was waking me up pretty much. But it was weird. It's my alarm was part of the dream for a good
it's straight
30
up
seconds.
It's straight up a scene from a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to start off with our honorable
I'm actually kind of curious. Do you have any weird like nightmares like that? Off the cuff. Can you remember anything like that? Do you remember your dreams very well? Tell me, Tommy. How do you feel? I feel like I'm turning into a therapist right now.
I had reoccurring dreams for a while that a certain somebody was taking my teeth.
A certain somebody?
Yeah.
Like, is it somebody we know? Oh. And you just don't want to name them? Oh, you're gonna have to tell me this after this. I don't think you've told me this.
Yeah, I'm sure you. I'm sure you could figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe you have told me this, but because it's kind of ringing a bell. But
like taking my teeth and then like
how long has this dream been happening?
No, not anymore. That was like the one reoccurring dream where this person was taking like my teeth or like my feet or like my hands. But like not like bloody. They were just like
taking everything. It's
like a toy. Like just pop. Like just take off.
Oh man, dude. Like I have dreams of where all my teeth are falling out occasionally.
That's like that's my most reoccurring one is I have teeth things. I don't like teeth stuff.
Yeah, teeth my teeth
people
fall out.
Pulling teeth and
I have reoccurring dreams of spiders chasing me, like swarms of spiders, and they get bigger.
I'm just wondering if someone's listening to. It's like, oh man, that teeth thing's actually a very. It's a sign of some serious psychosis. Like,
I mean, it could be. All right. Yeah. So
teeth.
So we're doing our top 5 like kind of
movie.
Scariest movies that kind of influenced us. I never say influenced, but it's just like they spooked us. They made it's like our lives weren't the same for at least a week.
yeah. Thought about it for a really long time.
Or maybe they're not the same still.
Sure.
But yeah, we do have like honorable mention of like moment where excuse me. Honorable mention. I was like about to like burp really loud into the microphone. I glad I didn't do it. Honorable mention of like a moment in a movie, and my one that will always stick out to me because this was when I was like a babe. I was like 4 or 5. I want to say it's a very early memory of mine. And yes, I'm one of those weird people that has memories all the way back to like when they're like 3, 4, and 5.
I think everyone does, like specific ones.
Well, yeah. I've been a lot of people who are like, I don't remember anything before like high school. Literally, they're like, I have no recollection of before 14. I'm like, how? What? Who hurt you? So mine is from the 1989 Pet Sematary. The scene with his wife talking about taking care of his sister. Or taking care of her sister. She had like a really sick sister, and just like it's like the image of like this like dying woman or young lady with like her spine sticking out of her back.
Oh yeah,
and just like the gaunt sunken in face and like the weird like soup that's being fed to her, and it's just like I
remember that one.
My parents didn't let me watch this movie, obviously, because like this movie came out in '89. I was like 3, 4, like they probably like rented it. Like it was like, oh, the new movie to rent. They're like, okay, Jacob, go to bed, And the house that I grew up on Woodruff, there was a way I could like sneak in a specific way around the house to where I could like my parents wouldn't notice me like hiding behind like this like little like end table and like chair and whatnot, and I could see the TV perfectly. And I remember seeing that scene and just I immediately I probably turned white and I just ran back to my bedroom. My mom and dad were like, was that Jacob? Oh shit, should we go check on him? And just like it just even
I very vaguely remember the scene you're talking about.
Like it made an impact on me. Yeah, it scared the crap out of me. Like it haunted. I had nightmares about it for months, probably. Well, it felt like months. It probably was like, I don't know, a day and a half or something. In kid world timeline, time world, because I was like scared, scared of her to be like in my bedroom and shit. Like it was bad. It was real bad.
I think my similar one to the whole, like, because in my parents' living room, the entire back hall, the back wall was mirror. That was like the thing.
That's a lot. That's okay.
The whole wall was mirror. So depending on where you were, you could watch the TV.
Hope
via
you don't
mirror.
judge your body too hard.
It's very, very bizarre. But I remember doing the same kind of thing, but for The Mummy.
Like Brendan Fraser's mummy?
99.
That scared you?
The scarab eating the dude's brain from the inside out. Yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, you were like 7, 8
He's
then.
screaming, and then he like kills himself by running into the wall. Like, yeah, that was.
Yeah, I chuckled at that.
That was horrifying at the time.
I'm such a fucking demented person.
That was like.
I'm like, he died, and you're like,
that was. I didn't like that one, and that's the problem. My parents didn't want me watching it.
That is, I mean, like thinking about it. Yeah, that's terrifying. I think there's a weird thing. You know, actually, I'm starting to think about this. Like, why I'm pretty desensitized with a lot of horror is, I think at some point it was just like in my brain, I was like, oh, this is not real. This is just a movie.
Well, I mean, that's what scares kids about it, is they have a hard time differentiating the reality.
Yeah,
between
exactly.
The fantasy, you know.
But then I took like a very extra hard turn on that, and it's like, oh, well, it's just not real, so everything's just a comedy. So watching some dude like in Friday the 13th get his head crushed and his eyes pop out of his skull, I'm like, ha ha, that's cool.
Well, so like, but Friday the 13th is very Mortal Kombat level violence. It's so unrealistic that it's hard to I don't know.
Yeah, but like the stalking, like the first 3, like it's like Friday the 13th really started to get more and more and more like that. Like, but the first couple is like,
they had to one up themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but like the first 3, like the first one actually kind of has like some good tension to it. The second one as well. Like when Jason comes out of the lake in the first one, at the end of the first one, I remember as a kid it was so unexpected. I was not expecting that at all, and it fucking made me jump out of my goddamn skin and shit.
Yeah, but you're jumpy. For being desensitized to movies, you're pretty jumpy in horror movies. Remember It?
Yeah, I know.
I looked at you, I'm like, can you fucking not?
Yeah, can we fucking not have things jump in my face? Like I'm gonna punch it.
The girl started laughing.
Should have got her number.
You should have. My first honorable mention, and so like we were saying too, these are like movies that didn't necessarily scare us, but like specific scenes. So my first one is Scream. The first time I ever watched Scream.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't find that movie scary. I find that movie very entertaining. It's a great, it's what classic.
It's one of my favorites.
It's a classic slasher. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But the first time I ever watched it, I was home alone, and it was Drew Barrymore scene, and the house phone rang.
Like that, the entire opening sequence?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like one of the best written horror, like...
But my phone rang in that scene.
Oh, at the same time?
At the same time, and I was alone. And I was like an early, 12, 13, somewhere in there. And I was like, it was probably my mom or dad calling, like, I'm going to be late. I don't remember why I was alone. But like, nope, not answering that shit. I don't want to play a game. I'm good. But yeah, that was my big, I remember that one being a big fuck.
Want to play a game?
Does he say that? Or is that Jigsaw?
No, it's just that's Jigsaw. It's like, no, he
says, let's play a game.
He's like, hey, I want to play a game. It's called, what's your favorite scary movie?
That's what we should call this episode.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. Any other honorable? I only got one more that really stands out.
I mean, I kind of brought up a lot of my honorable mention stuff. I mean,
you actually did. You were talking for a minute.
I know. The Exorcist really fucking freaked me out when I was like 10 or 11.
That movie's a cultural phenomenon.
I know. It's like, it truly is a terrifying movie.
We should do that one for the history of it.
That would be fun to do, yeah.
That would be a deep dive though.
Cuz like I remember like that scared me. Like me and my friend my best friend growing up, Tyler, we rented that middle of the day. It's like a middle of a Sunday, like 1:00 in the afternoon.
You watch The Exorcist on Sunday?
Yes. We're not religious people. And literally, I forget what scene it was, but like there's a moment where like when like her possession is really getting fucking like gruesome and whatnot, that I had to pause the movie. And I just told Tommy. I just told Tyler, like, I got to use the bathroom for a minute. And I just stood in the bathroom, catching my breath and trying to calm my anxiety down. Like, I didn't even have to like pee or poop or anything. I was just so terrified. I needed a break from the movie.
That was kind of the coolest episode of American Horror Stories.
Which one?
The movie that makes people into zombies thing.
Oh yeah.
Does The Exorcist have that effect on people? People were getting sick. People were getting dizzy. People were, it It was the Curse of King Tut, but in a movie kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I find that so like there's something in that movie. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not really, like I said, I'm not a religious person.
well, that's what's crazy. Is like,
Which also, I'm not a religious person. Like half of these movies that I have on here are about like possession and
Christian
paranormal
demonology.
Shit. Yeah.
Well, like what's interesting too, like you not being religious and it really freaking out. Think of someone like my mom,
Who is religious?
she's not religious anymore, but
Oh,
she
yeah.
grew up a pastor's daughter, so she was very religious. So this situation is something very real to someone that is very religious,
I had some,
and it horrified her. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't sleep for weeks after seeing it.
I had some friends that were very religious, and like, he considered the movie just blasphemous. He's like, why would you give that much power to the devil? That's bringing him into our world. You're idolizing him with
100%.
this.
You're opening the door, and you can't control what goes in or out. I'm a firm believer in that. You know, I am too. I don't talk about certain shit. I don't say certain shit. I'm like,
I've been trying to get Tommy with a Ouija board in the graveyard for a long time.
never will happen. Never in a million years. I actually might do it in a graveyard. I wouldn't do it at my house. I don't want that shit in my house. Hopefully, it doesn't latch on to me.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance. Should I just do my last honorable?
Yeah, because I don't have any. Well, I guess that's just kind of my last honorable. What do you got?
For a more recent, Train to Busan. Just how they like hired. Like again, didn't find that movie scary. I found that movie very entertaining.
Oh, so you were just like really appreciative of like
the zombies, specifically
the disturbing factor of what they were able to create.
Yeah, like the fact that they got like professional like contortionist dancer type people, and their process of changing into a zombie was
really cool.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
that's rad. And then then they did that like get up without their hands thing, and the fact that there was just people physically doing it, and it wasn't special effects. I was like, that's really cool. Fuck that noise. Run.
Dan Aykroyd. Fuck this noise.
What is that?
Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah.
When the nuns are starting to like fucking beat up, like fuck this noise. I'm out.
That needs to go on our list too.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Okay. So those are our honorable mentions.
Mentions.
Echo used a lot.
I just rewatched Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
I told you that. But it's what's his name? Sam Rockwell, right?
Yeah. The red shirt.
Yeah, the red shirt. When he's introducing to Quincy. Tag it. It just made me laugh. He's one of the best characters in that movie. Guy, you have a name. Do I? He's awesome in that movie. So yeah, go ahead and kick off with your number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go me. All right. So my number 5 movie that really freaked me out that I remember is 2002's The Ring, which I saw in theaters.
So the remake. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
I mean, yeah, technically it's the American remake.
Yeah, okay.
I actually don't think I've seen Ringu. I've like the like even like Ringu or Juon. I tried to watch those around the time when this and The Grudge became like really big.
Yeah.
You know? I tried to watch like the original Japanese versions, and there was something about the video quality that never captured me, and I couldn't get through them.
They were a little behind the times for video quality. They are kind of rough to watch, but it's definitely something like I think maybe now you'd be able to sit through it and appreciate it because they're pretty fucking terrifying. The Grudge or The Ring didn't cross my mind for this list, but those are
fucking terrifying
movies.
The Grudge, since The Ring had already freaked me out enough, The Grudge didn't really do much to me. But also, I think the big thing about...
I always thought The Grudge was way more scary.
The thing that sold me with The Ring, though, was Naomi Watts' performance.
Fair. That is very, very fair.
The Grudge, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's a scream queen.
Yeah.
Like, of course, she's going to be running around screaming with these scared little ghosts. Naomi Watts, like, she believed she was going to die in 7 days. Like, as it slowly became clear, like, the terror in her was real. That scene on the ferry with the horse is terrifying, because also horses are giant creatures that could kill us easily. Sorry, the horses kind of freaked me out.
My doctor just got bucked by her horse.
Fuck that noise.
Or her friend's horse. I was like, oh, like,
God, is she okay?
yeah, she's fine.
Good.
It was close though.
Oh.
Real
yeah.
quick, I just want to point out too. Did you know that they made like a Freddy versus Jason, but with Ring and The Grudge?
Oh, it's Samar. Oh no. Oh, that was it's like a YouTube comedy sketch, isn't it?
No, it's like an actual. There's like an actual movie. It was on Shudder for a minute.
What?
It's like a Japanese movie. But so what happens is she ends up. I think what it is, she ends up watching the tape, the Ring tape, and then realizes she only has a week. So she goes to the Grudge house.
Wait, hold. Like the woman from The Grudge watches the Ring?
No,
tape?
no. A woman watches the tape.
Oh, okay.
So she's being the 7 days thing, and she knows like this. So she gets the Ring girl to get into the Grudge house, and then they have like a beat 'em all like fight.
This sounds like a comedy. This doesn't sound like a horror.
No,
movie.
I think it's like a horror comedy, and I was like, I'm so into that idea.
Jesus Christ.
I can't remember what it's called,
God.
but I'm sure if you Google it, you could find it.
Yeah, probably.
But just if you're interested,
Ringu versus Juon.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
But yeah, so like the Ring, like the tension of like the entire movie was really good. I felt the mystery of Samara. And like
that's her name.
And like when you're in like at the bottom of the well and they find like her corpse and what, like the movie is just me and my friend Trey saw it in theaters, and we were both like curled up in a ball, just like rocking back and forth, just like freaked out from this movie.
Pale little girls with black long straight hair are scary.
Yeah, exactly. And then when she came out of the television,
Silent Hill.
When she came, like, literally trained her like, no, like
The Ring's kind of ruined for me because it's a scary movie.
Well, this is
I know, but she comes out, she like puts the beat down on her,
and like the Ring should, in its right of how much it freaked me out when I watched it and how much it that movie made me scared of little children, essentially creepy little children. Like that movie is the reason in a big way. Like you get a kid into the right time in between the ages of 4 and 8, and you get them like with the right fucking Damien look from The Omen, and I'm like, I'm not talking to that child. That child is the Antichrist. But the thing with is like, then I tried to then I watched it a second time, and the lure, the mystery was gone.
Oh, kind of like a one and done kind of
I was like,
situation.
oh.
Did you ever watch Rings? Where they put the video on?
Yes, I did enjoy it.
Oh, okay. I think they put it on the internet, right?
Yeah, actually, I thought it was. I kind of liked its modern take spin, as a loose sequel.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a sequel, but it ends in a terrifying manner. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, the way that it ends would make you go, nope,
no, thank you,
not okay with that.
Been interested in it.
All right, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is The Babadook, 2014. The Babadook is an Australian film.
It is.
And it's just a kind of a classic boogeyman kind of situation.
I've never seen it all the way through.
And he's a urban legend creature.
Yeah, it's an urban myth from Australia, isn't it? Yeah.
And
what is the myth?
He comes to steal your children.
That's it.
Very.
It's a child eater.
Yeah, like a child eater kind of situation.
Okay. For there's no you've done wrong, so I will eat your child.
Well, it all starts off.
If you know its name, like Rumpelstiltskin, will it go away?
It has like a book.
Sorry.
Like a book shows up to your house, and it's the story of the Babadook.
Oh, so it's
it's connected to the book.
I wonder how many people just fucked with people and just
sent them the book.
Yeah, just left it on their doorstep. Could you imagine? That would be terrifying.
That'd be a good prank.
Yeah.
I mean mean, but but yeah, the
Happy Halloween.
The creature itself was very terrifying. It's a very tall man with a very pale face and like a trench coat and a top hat. And
long nails or long fingers.
Long fingers. And his just image was really great too, because he was always just you would just see him in the corner. And then the way my apartment's set up too, there's a bookshelf that had Buzz Lightyear and his spaceship on top.
Oh God.
So I kept seeing him. And this is in my 20s too. This wasn't but I kept seeing the Babadook everywhere, and that was really creepy too, because the whole idea is that what's kind of cool about it, what freaked me out, is that the child that he's haunting has some sort of learning issue. He's on
the spectrum.
He's on the spectrum, or there's something going on with him. And so the mother's trying to deal with that, and he's acting out, and she's trying to figure out, and she's a single mother, and she's kind of strung out, taking care of him, and X, Y, and Z. But then this Babadook situation happens, and she's just taking it
This Babadook situation
as like him just acting out, not realizing, because he's the only children can see him.
Oh, okay.
So he's having these freakouts. But what also it introduced is a lot of stuff happens during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like driving, and he just starts screaming in the back seat because the Babadook's in the back seat, but the mom just can't see it.
Okay.
And it's just,
Oh, so he's like freaking out. So she thinks he's having like an episode.
yeah, but he's actually being haunted by this thing. And yeah, it just scared the living hell out of me. I thought it was really cool. Like, I mean, the ending kind of was lackluster and kind of weird because they show what the creature actually is, and it kind of gets rid of it's removing Darth Vader's helmet. It takes away this mystery and this intrigue to it. But I mean, it was I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I recommend that one.
It's kind of interesting, like talking about Babadook and like how only kids can see it. Are you familiar with the Momo, like internet trend?
Is that the creepy smiley face?
Yeah, this girl right here.
Yeah.
Do you know the lore behind it?
Yeah, I remember I was talking about it with my sister because Sully
was like freaking out.
No, she was just she was at the age where it was being
yeah. Well, so I'm just like,
like
did Sully bring it up to your mom?
To my sister?
Oh yeah, see your sister?
I don't really remember how the conversation came up.
Because the whole thing is that like kids find like the Momo lore online, and it's parents aren't supposed to know about Momo. Children aren't supposed to talk about Momo with parents. If the parents ask about Momo, or if the child brings up Momo, then Momo's going to kill their parents or kill the kids or something.
Oh.
So there's this whole, it's like this supposed to be this like huge like secret whole, like it's just to terrorize children. And there's like stories of like parents being like asking their child like, do you know what Momo is? And kids be like, why do you know that? No, we don't talk about that. And like having a panic attack and freaking out because like, oh my God, my parents are going to die. Like,
yeah,
because they believe in it for, like, so hard. I don't know. Just like there was something about talking with the Babadook that just kind of made me think about that.
It's very much in that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Babadook is cool. And
I do really need to see it still.
It's a solid creature feature.
Yeah.
Boogeyman kind of thing.
What's unfortunate for me is like I know like a lot of the story to it.
It actually kind of goes hand in hand with Mimic in a weird way.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, weird.
Like I watched, I want to say like
actually, yeah, like a lot.
3/4 of it or 2/3 of it. While I was working at Big Mario's, I got off work and I just watched it with no subtitles, no just silence.
Oh, you can't watch it. The sound is a very key factor to him.
I was getting drunk while watching it, so I don't remember much.
There you go. I'd recommend that one.
Yeah. So yes, number 5.
Yes, number 5, Babadook.
Babadook.
And also, that's a great boogeyman name.
It is actually
Babadook.
Yeah.
And it's like
it was. I just now think of Tom Waits as the Babadook. That's because that's like your Tom Waits impersonation right there.
Did I tell you about my Shrek 2 thing real quick?
Oh, what's your Shrek 2
Oh, no,
thing?
it was with you. Yeah, I was talking about how great the soundtrack is.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking Tom Waits guy was like, these soundtracks are lit. Like, these are really great soundtracks. They got Tom fucking Waits and Shrek. Like, what? Anyways.
All right, my number 4 is Insidious. And
yeah.
Insidious, so like really like it just affected me. Like the whole like the yeah. But like I will never forget, it was one of the biggest jump scares of my life that it almost made me faint actually.
When it's behind her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was behind him.
Oh yeah. Fucking
yeah.
Darth Maul demon.
Yeah, because it's just like it's literally you're expecting something, but just like how it's like it's a terrifying looking demon, and it's so quick and just like with everything that's been happening in that house, it was just like oh, like when you were talking about like I'm super jumpy in general. But most of the time, like as you saw when we were watching it, my reaction is to like throw something at it or like like
get away.
yeah, like I put up my fist, I'm like I'm ready, like when it comes to fight or flight, I'm the fucking idiot that's gonna try to fight for a second until hopefully I don't die and realize I need to fly. But that one, it literally just like Have you ever been so scared that you just go into this moment like, and this is how I die?
Well, I mean, no. I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
You just like you just feel your heart just go, no, not anymore.
Well, like Insidious was smart in the fact too, kind of like with Babadook, about you weren't safe in the daytime.
Yeah.
The fact that they introduced like that right there, that jump scare. It was the middle of the day, and they're just having like a conversation about the situation, and then he shows up to the medium for a second.
The medium was like doing a little bit of like reaching, wasn't it? Like asking questions.
Yeah, but it was like she was trying to get a feel of what the situation was.
Yeah.
And then there's also that whole scene where she's describing him and he's up in the corner, just talking about it gave me chills.
Yeah.
That was my moment of like, it's like right fucking there. Right now. And then the parents' expression of just horror of like realizing that there's this thing. That movie has some really great
I'm getting
moments.
really fucking nervous just thinking about it right now. Actually, I got chills just like, ugh.
Because even the second, and then it built up great for the sequel.
I haven't seen the sequel or the last key or anything yet.
Oh no, well, I mean those ones are kind of like whatever. Those are like like you're saying like loose.
Yeah, okay.
Prequel sequel stuff, but it's like just 1 and 2.
Oh, and I saw this in theaters too, by the way.
Oh god, I wish I'd seen this in theaters.
Oh, this is 2010 as well.
But yeah, they like build up like at the end of the day, the demon isn't the biggest threat. There's something else that's more of a threat.
Yeah.
And I just think those two movies are just they're
and
great.
So it's just to make clear, because we've talked about The Conjuring a little bit. The reason why, not just Patrick Wilson with Insidious and The Conjuring, James Wan is the director and writer for both of these movies. Oh, not the writer, but he is the director for Insidious and the first 2 Conjuring movies.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Why would that seem like a bad idea?
Like,
and then hire him?
Yeah.
As the main actor, like the husband.
Yeah, I know, right?
The
like,
husband.
It's like literally like, and James Wan,
actor.
if you guys aren't familiar as well, he's also he did the first Saw. He created the Saw world pretty much, and he's also the director of Aquaman. And new one coming out this week. I think it is. Malignant looks really good. He's director on it. He's the director, so it's going to be like that.
Ooh, Candyman's coming out.
Candyman comes out
in a week.
Wait, no, Candyman came out on last Friday.
What?
Yeah, Candyman's already out. No, this week is Shang-Chi. You gotta get used to wearing the mask in the theater, bud. We got a lot of movies to go see.
I want to see Candyman in theaters.
I want to see Shang-Chi in theaters.
Insidious.
Yeah. Insidious, yeah. It really like. What's funny is like, I don't fully remember the entire storyline that well, but the movie made an impact on me. I remember leaving that theater and like, a lot of these like paranormal like things. Just like I go to bed, and I'm afraid to like turn my back to my door. Like I sleep like on my side, just staring at my door for like just
until you fall asleep.
Yeah, like if I roll over and I'm like, and I have my face just like back turned or whatever, all I can imagine is like it's standing right above me. It's literally standing right above me. It's looming right above me, and then I get a little petrified to the point where it's like, I want to look and make sure it's not there, but because I know it's not there. But what if it is? What if it is there? just goddamn, my fucking imagination gets so out of control sometimes.
And there's like one moment, I can't remember if it's the first one or second one, but there's like they're like on the second floor. It's with the wife, and there's a ghost pacing outside the window, back and forth.
No, I don't like that at all.
Which does that sound familiar to you?
No, but
he's so on the second floor, but he's just pacing, and it's like,
is it the man that
he looks like the fucking Undertaker?
Oh, that one, okay.
But like he's pacing back and forth, and at one point he paces, and then he comes back, and he's suddenly in the room.
Oh, yeah,
like he turns around and he pops in the room.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Did I lose it?
Yeah, no.
There's so many beautiful moments like that. I'm just like, okay, it's okay. Oh no, it's coming back.
Dude, literally, that's just like there's a like just this feeling of just I'm dead.
That's a good one.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is 2001's Jeepers Creepers for multitude of reasons.
I like that you have this on here because like when this came out, I was in high school, and I didn't see it. When did you see it in the theaters or no? All of them that you watched were streaming
or DVD
movie rental.
or...
Yeah, this one we rented, and I thought this movie was stupid when I first watched it.
I thought you liked it.
I do now.
Oh, but like initially,
but because like there was only one true jump scare for me.
Which one was
that? And it was a fake out jump scare, and it's when like his sister is sitting in the car. And Justin Long just pops out of nowhere. I think after he's already been in the cave or something. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Ah!" And I was like, God, yeah, like, why did that scare me above everything? And then nothing else scared me. But also, this was when I was like 15, 16, and I was getting really like snobby about my horror movies.
I was kind of feeling that's what was happening.
Yeah. Or I was like, "This is not that scary."
Well,
but like looking at it, it's like no, like I still don't think this movie is scary in my opinion. But that's also my desensitization.
I think it's creepy. Like, I think the creature design's great of the creeper.
Jeepers,
the song.
Where'd you get those peepers?
Yeah, there's his design. There's the theme song, which is creepy. There's this like ominous truck thing, and then what really solidifies it, and that's why I put it on the list, is because it is the most disheartening despair ending.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Justin Long gets taken away,
taken,
and then it goes back to the cave, and you hear him screaming, begging no, and then it like you see his petrified taxidermy torso with his eyes ripped out, and then the creeper looks through the like at the camera, and then the credits roll.
Yeah.
I was like, that is a bomb ass terrifying ending.
Yeah, the bad guy wins. I think that was also a weird thing. Like when around this time, I was like, I'm like, okay, I get it. They're having the bad guy win. That's kind of cool. But I was like, I don't know. It's like, isn't the whole idea of like horror movies supposed to be for them to like find a way to like win at the end and whatnot? That was like my 15-year-old mind, but now I appreciate it.
And he
more.
eats people.
Yeah,
for their specific body parts. That's creepy as fuck.
I think there was also something about just like the design of the monster that I was expecting something different. And then it had wings all of a sudden, and then I was like, oh, well that's kind of weird.
That's what like they kind of ruined in the second one. Is you saw like again back to the mystery of his trench coat and his hat and everything.
The mystique.
Yeah, like the hidden part of him, and then in the second one when he's just like full-fledged monster mode, it got a little like whatever.
I don't think I can't remember if I've seen
two or three. There's a third one.
Yeah, the third one's like a prequel, isn't it?
The third one is set in between the first and second one.
That's a weird thing to do.
It was really bizarre. And then they utterly and completely, like, instead of being kind of like a gray, like a light gray color, he's like almost black, like almost jet black. So it looks like a totally different creature. It was really. We watched it because we rented it because we thought it was going to be like the way it was kind of pitched was going to be like a prequel, almost like where did this creature come from? And we're like, oh, cool, let's learn more lore about it. But then it's like smack dab in the middle, and the continuity doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, they were just trying to make another money off a name.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Horror. Horror is just like
totally
does that.
But like, and then like in the third one, he has an axe, like a medieval axe weapon that I don't know. It was really weird. But yeah, that's...
I'm gonna chop off your arms and legs, and then I'm gonna eat them. Jeepers, creepers. Sorry.
Well, you let me note here. I put little notes of kind of like to remind like what exactly about it. Again, a boogeyman who is front and center and creepy as hell. Eats people, tortures, and skins Derry, Justin Long, into screaming and eats his eyes. I was like, those are all pretty... That's a creepy sentence. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Sounds like a normal sentence to me.
What's your number 3?
Number 3. All right. So this is one. It took me. I had to like pull this out of the recesses of my memories, because this one was like the end more like really. It's really more the ending of this movie than anything. But 2008's Quarantine. I didn't watch it till I was older on like a streaming service. It's like a found footage one type.
I vaguely remember that one.
Or it's like
Oh, it's a found. I fucking hate that shit.
I mean, you're not gonna like my last 3 then.
Hate that found footage shit. Makes me dizzy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fair. Not everybody can handle it. I personally really like that style because it makes it feel more realistic or personal in a weird way. You know what I mean?
It's just fun. I'm laughing because it's like I hate first person video games and I hate first person movies, I guess. I don't know. I just think it's a weird correlation.
I mean, you like first person shooters and then you hate...
No, I mean, like, it's not my preference. Yeah. I'll play it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But
Oh, because I don't like first-person movies or shooters.
First-person movies. That's what we should call them now. Not found footage films. We should call them.
They kind of are first-person movies.
First-person movies.
Yeah. But the end of this movie, it's really like leading up to that, like the final like bit when it's like it's in the what is it? See in dark thing.
Night vision.
Yeah.
See in dark lens. The see in the dark lens.
And like whatever has infected this like area has like is just like it's like in its underwear and it's like it looks feral and it's like human but it's like not and it's like and it just it's suffocating how quiet it is and what's happening. It's kind of like I liken it to to a lot of people this was a lot more terrifying was the end of Silence of the Lambs when what's her name? Jodie Foster's character in Silence. Clarice, yeah. I was trying to remember her last name.
I don't remember her last name.
Clarice, and like she's in Buffalo Bill's basement, and like he turns off the lights, and you just see his point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, that's terrifying.
That was a cool shot. That's a good mention.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
And it's kind of like Quarantine was definitely like kind of doing like an homage to that in a big way for the end of it. But it's just like that movie, like that movie freaked me out quite a bit. Like I like I said, I didn't watch it all. I was older, but I was I was surprised how much I think a lot of people didn't like it because it spent so long to get to the actual like really, really scary shit. Because like it's all more, a
lot of buildup.
A lot of buildup. But I think the last like, I don't know, half of that or not, well, the last like the end bit of that movie with them like trying to like figure out what the fuck is happening to like the actual like death of the people really just like scared the shit out of me.
I really don't have a reference point because I don't think I've ever seen that one because I kind of avoid that found footage.
It kind of makes you nauseous, like you said.
Yeah, it's not really like my forte.
I wonder if now would be different now that it's been such a while.
Maybe.
And it probably depends on what kind of like found footage movie it is because like I think like Cloverfield is just all over the place like because there's so much like running in it. Quarantine has a little bit of that as well.
I saw it in theaters and at the end of it when the like the bridge collapsed, this kid he was like younger than I was, just goes, "This is horse shit." Like really loud.
Oh man, I really liked Cloverfield though.
I actually remember enjoying Cloverfield, but it still gave me that dizzy.
Isn't Chronicle technically found footage in a weird way?
The end. Well, yeah, actually, no. The whole time, you're right. It's all from the kid that goes crazy. He's like always like
he's recording something. Yeah,
yeah. But I think they did it well in that one because it was very found footage, but still felt like a movie until like the end. Because in the end is people's like cell phones.
Yeah,
and
that was one thing I really liked. Remember District 9? How it like kind of started off as like this weird documentary style, and then like it moved into like this almost kind of like it was going to be like a person holding the camera, then very much turned into an actual movie,
like action movie by the end,
and then pulled back into this into the documentary stuff. Dude, I love District 9
was cool. I want them to make another one. I've heard.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
They've been talking about it forever.
Yeah, that was my number 3 is Quarantine, just because it's really the end.
I want to change my number 3.
You committed to something.
No, but it's like I'm thinking of things as we're talking about it. So I put as number 3 The Faculty.
Oh yeah,
but we've talked about that. Like,
it was our release for our movie release.
Our beginning. So if you don't know, we did in the very, very beginning. We did The Faculty, which is an alien.
I wouldn't recommend listening to it. It's 2 hours long. Or if you want to listen to it,
we hadn't really figured out a lot yet.
We were still figuring out kind of our formula. It's kind of it's a commitment.
But that movie really freaked me out when I was a kid, and not because the movie itself is scary, but the concept of aliens taking over the town and replacing your. Like I slept in my parents' room for a while after watching it.
Tell them the full story, man. Tell them the entire story. It's a great story.
What? That I thought my dog was an alien?
Yes.
Thought my dog Sadie was an alien. It was just like, it really fucked with me. And it was one of those, I saw it on cable.
Did you possibly find a weird dried up slug like around your house? Like
maybe.
You were like, no, it's real.
Something to solidify it.
Yeah.
Maybe. We were living in Northern California, wet and slugs everywhere.
Yeah, there
maybe.
you go.
That one really freaked me out, and I don't need to like talk about it because I already talked about it. But yeah, It's a weird little worm slug creatures, and they like are all
Yeah.
hive mind, and they like take over the town, and they're like addicted to water, and you can kill them with cocaine. And when I was a kid, I thought like
You
good.
kill them with dehydration.
I thought you killed them with like Coca-Cola, and
Yeah.
I had this whole plan to get like a super soaker and fill it with Coca-Cola. And
For those who haven't listened to the first episode, there you go. There's a little rundown.
yeah, that's one of the reasons I picked it. Was because
Better to listen to this than the first episode.
But yeah, the faculty was definitely like it not influenced, it affected me very much in my real life. You know, where I was just like,
Around how old were you
I don't know,
when you saw it?
98.
Is when
It came out in 98.
So
So I was
6 then.
6 when it came out, and then I saw it on cable.
So like 3-4 years later. So like
Maybe. I mean, cable. So it was released, and then it would have gone on to.
well, back then, like it took a lot longer for things to really get onto
So
cable.
I was probably like 8 or 9,
yeah.
maybe 10. And I wasn't supposed to watch it. I snuck into my dad's office, and
You're watching the fact
late one rainy night, I just realized, and rain is like a
Yeah.
fucking thing in that movie.
I find it kind of amusing is like you watched you watched something at like 8 or 9 and you just thought that aliens were taking over the world, and then when I was 8 or 9 I watched Child's Play, got scared but like became desensitized.
I was a slow burn.
Man, yeah. All right, so that's your number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to bring it up on?
On that, no.
Beetle? Okay, cool. My number 2, and I'm really curious how you're going to feel about this. My number 2 is Paranormal Activity.
Fuck off.
I knew you were going to have that reaction.
Ugh. I hate that fucking movie. I'm sorry. That's really rude to the people involved making it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't like that movie.
This is where it's kind of like getting into like that. It's like where that found footage stuff.
Boring.
Dude, the build up to like, just think, okay, imagine if that was your house and that was happening to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you
any of these movies that you say that like that?
Exactly, dude. That's the whole, and that's.
But
what,
it didn't get me. It didn't grab me. It didn't grab my attention.
That's the whole thing. Well, I mean, that's what kind of like what drew me into Paranormal Activity. I was like, oh, I'm watching
like 8 of those fucking movies too.
5 or 6.
Jesus Christ.
And I think I've seen all of them, which because I enjoy the franchise. Actually, personally, I enjoy the franchise. The first one is really the only one I think is any good. The second one ish. I do like the third one, how it goes back in time, like how like it like the it's like in 88, so it's actually kind of like interesting to see how they like find interesting ways to record stuff and whatnot, because like 1988, like, you know, video surveillance wasn't as, you know, popular.
Yeah, well, because the whole like in Paranormal Activity, they have their whole house like low jacked with security cameras, right?
Yeah, because
basically.
like that's kind of like, you know, it's, I mean, it was so it came out in 2007, and I saw this in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this theaters was probably like the better way to see it in a weird way.
There are movies that are just you should see in theaters.
There's a really big thing with like the sound of that movie, like because it's so quiet, and then all of a sudden you hear like a, you're like, what the fuck was that? And then all of a sudden
like
you
the
see,
chair
and then you see it's like you hear something, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And then all of a sudden something else moves, and you're like, well, what the fuck was that?
Did they ever explain what the ghost is?
Yes, and I don't remember.
Okay. I vaguely remember that coming up, but I can't remember.
Yeah, they do kind of explain. They explain it better in number 3, because it's in number 3 is like
it's a jumping generations ghost, right?
Yeah,
Like, it's following this specific family. For years and years and years and years. Oh, okay.
But like the whole is like, since it's like security, it's like found footage security cam stuff and whatnot. And like I was saying, is like there's something about that for me that just makes it seem more realistic in a weird way.
I mean, I think that's
it makes
the point.
it more it makes it more connectable.
Yeah.
For me especially. And so I mean, it just really like it. Like I would go home and then all of a sudden I'd be hearing something. I'm like, oh my god, is my fucking place? No, there's no ghosts. Ghosts maybe are real or not. I don't know. I think I saw ghosts when I was a kid. I don't know. I was a child. But like, yeah, no, it really, and like the ending is kind of like whatever, but just like the whole haunting thing just really just makes me uneasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
an untangible force that you don't,
and it's a loss of control.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like, at least with like a monster creature is like you can attempt to kill the creature.
And they had a kid in the first one, right? Yeah, there was a kid involved.
I think like a baby.
Yeah,
I think it was a baby,
and that's not cool.
and I think that's yeah, because I remember something about the
Yeah.
the baby monitor. I remember something along like they were hearing shit through it and whatever.
And just like and it's just like how it progressively, it's a slow burn, but and I guess like if you didn't see that in theaters or see it with some way where you have like surround sound or like a really good like that's kind of like how The Strangers was. I thought The Strangers was pretty freaky.
The Strangers was cool.
And that's also another movie where it's like if you don't have like the proper like surround sound for like when they're like especially when Liv Tyler's like crawling to like the shed in that movie.
Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman, right?
Yeah. And like
happy birthday.
oh yeah?
Today's his birthday.
And she's crawling to the shed to like get the shotgun or whatever. Like the surround sound, you just hear them like running around her, just like they're circling.
Yeah, that movie always makes me laugh because when the movie came out, I tortured my girlfriend. She was over at her friend's house that lived up the street, and I was like, "Hey, what are you up to, babe?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm at Missy's house watching The Stranger." I immediately called Kevin. I was like, "Yo, meet me at Missy's house." Why? They're watching The Stranger. We're gonna fuck with them.
I remember doing The Strangers.
We were just like going up and knocking the door and hiding in the bushes. And
oh my god, it's doing this to me.
No, she knew. I think at a certain point she just came out and was like, "Thomas, you're a fucking asshole." Like she knew. Like that's my personality.
And you're like, oh.
I think I got him like the first 2 times, and the third time they're like, "No, it's him."
Someone probably saw you through the window as well.
Like anytime I would do stuff like that, she would just call me and be like immediately.
It's like, what the fuck? Did you knock it off?
Yeah, could you not fucking do that? Like,
is it not fucking cool, Thomas?
It's fun,
okay,
but it's so much fun.
Oh yeah. So number 2 is Paranormal Activity for me because like yeah, and I know it wasn't your thing, but
I'm not judging you.
You're judging me a little bit. I can tell.
Oh, I'm curious what your number 1 is because I might judge you for that one. I think I know what it is.
Really?
I think so. I want to see if I'm right though. My number 2 is kind of a cop out because it's not technically a horror movie, but it disturbed me greatly.
That's fair.
A movie from 2011 called God Bless America, and it's like a dark comedy satire about basically gun violence and gun control in our country, and it has like a very falling down vibe to it. Mm-hmm. But it's about this,
or like also like a Natural Born Killers.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I would lean more on the Natural Born Killers side.
I think it's a weird little baby of the two, but it's Joel Murray, who's Bill Murray's brother, and I don't know if any of you, I noticed that on the Scrooge episode I got the brothers mixed up and I misled on.
Oh, that's fine.
Because both of his brothers are in that scene.
Yeah.
But only one of the brothers plays his brother. The other guy is just called the guest at the party.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so Joel Murray plays a man that has gotten from his doctor has noticed that he's going to die.
Yeah.
From a terminal illness. I think it's like cancer or something. He has a tumor. That's what it is. And he hates the world and everyone in it. So he basically just goes on a killing spree on rude people.
It's the end of the world,
but
as
with
we know it.
Shut up. What the grand scheme of basically anyone that was like his neighbor. He starts off with his neighbor who's like a dick to him, and then anyone that gets kind of like just pisses him off, even over really trivial shit. He just like, you're rude, I'm gonna kill you. But with the grand end result of basically going to this world's version of American Idol and killing all the judges, because they're assholes. Because remember, American Idol was like really hardcore making fun of people at this point.
Yeah.
And then on his journey, like meets like a teenage girl.
Isn't it played like Chloe Grace Moretz? Who was it?
No, her name is Tara Leon Barr. It's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pull her up. Yeah, she's right there. Tara Lynn Barr. What? What did you write?
It's at the very bottom of the page, so I was running out of room.
Tara Lynn Barr. Wow, she actually doesn't look super familiar to anything, but I do recognize her from this movie, God Bless America.
God Bless America, and it's like, again, it's not scary, but it's just the whole concept was really, really disturbing to me, and was it is
a very disturbing idea. Yeah,
it just really creeped me. At the end, it was interesting. Mm-hmm. And I watched it all the way through. I wasn't like, fuck this. Like a lot of time horror, like, I'm not the type that's like watch it and then finish it. I'm like, I'm halfway through and I'm utterly uninterested. I'm turning this off. I don't even care at this point if it makes a wild turn and gets good again. I'm checked out. But yeah, that was my number 2, just because it's creepy.
Well, it's like you said, it's technically not a horror movie, and like that's kind of like Tommy brought this up before the recording, and I was like, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but if it like you're like it disturbed you, I was like, okay, that's fair, because like I also have a very desensitized idea of what's terrifying in a way.
Well, like what I thought was
like for this movie, I because it is a huge commentary on the violence in America, and a backlash and a commentary on just like the whole like reality TV world, you know, and whatnot. And it just kind of takes it into just a violent satirical world as well. So when I saw this movie, I thought it was fucking hilarious, and like,
I mean, there are funny moments, but it's in a very dark setting.
But yeah, no, it's very dark. But like, I just have a really dark sense of humor of shit like that. You know, it's like Natural Born Killers. I
love that. But that's the thing is I love Natural Born Killers and I love Falling Down. Mm-hmm. Neither of those gave me this feeling, and I don't know why.
That's crazy.
And I don't know what it is. I think I would have to watch them all again.
I wonder if there was maybe just something about at the specific time in your life when you watched that movie and
I was sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That something was just like, it was just enough there, you know?
Well, because I love Falling Down because the escalation throughout the movie, you know, first he gets the bat, then he gets the blood, then he gets the...
Well, Falling Down is like a thriller in a really big way. Can you pull up a God Bless America? I want to see what IMDb has it for, like, its like genre list.
So
that was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yeah.
And written by... Of course it's a fucking dark comedy satire.
I meant to bring that up.
Comedy, crime, drama, yeah.
If you don't know who Bobcat Goldthwait is, he is in Scrooge. He's the... I guess, Bobcat. Yeah, that guy. Took a little baby daughter. What the... That's okay. I'll just tell that we'll have to move into a studio apartment.
Better watch. I can't really do Bobcat. You do a pretty good Bobcat.
You better. No, I lost it.
Come back here. You better watch it.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
I've been blind, stinking, drunk.
Yeah, it's put on IMDb. It's listed as a comedy crime drama.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so that's my number 2, just because it has a really high rating. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Yeah, no, this is a well-regarded movie.
I'm kind of curious to watch it again because especially after maybe that's what you're like, maybe situationally, whatever. I'm like, well, because 2011, that was right.
That's right when you
ending high school for me.
I mean, actually, wait. So hold on a second. When did it's 2011 win-win? Well, wait, but you watch a streaming, so it had been after 2011.
Yeah, I was like in the like.
You were living with me, possibly.
Maybe. Oh, and that was just.
I wonder if we watched this together.
That was just a bad time. So maybe I was very sensitive to stuff. Maybe that could have been it. I was very sensitive to
Thomas.
All right. Let's see if I'm right. What's your number 1?
No, I don't want to say it.
Say it.
It's the Blair Witch Project.
I fucking knew it. Knew it.
It's 1999. Blair Witch Project.
Everyone knows what the Blair Witch.
I watched it with my parents as a movie rental at home. And it made me scared to go outside for a very long time.
That movie is terrifying.
It's horrifying.
I showed that to a friend of mine because he had never seen it in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had like ordered Domino's. You know, we were having like a scary movie night. And he had never seen it. So I was like, oh, let's watch it. And then we were eating pizza. And I remember like halfway through it, I looked over at him and he's like shaking. Taking the bite of pizza, yes. And then I felt like a fucking winner. It was like, yeah. You scared? Yeah. You suffer now.
Dude, no, like it's I feel like it's very well executed. Like, actually pull it up if you can. I'm curious what its rating is as well, cuz like this was like before the found footage like shit was like really, really popular, obviously.
The Blair
Witch Project.
Blair.
And it's only got a 6.5. I was hoping higher.
I'm wondering if that's more recent audiences
possibly
watching it.
I mean, when this movie came out, like its lore behind it, like everybody thought that these fucking college students weren't actors. They didn't think they were actors. A lot of people thought this was real, and it was very much the way that it was presented seemed very real. It's kind of like I forget what the fuck.
The people that live in the town hate this movie.
Oh, I bet
because of the tourist
attraction of it. Yeah. I forget what movie it was. Was it
Cannibal Holocaust?
Cannibal Holocaust. That's what people thought. Everybody actually died.
They had to bring the actress to the courtroom to be like, she's here. She's right here. She's fine. We didn't actually kill her. If you didn't know that, yeah, there's a movie called
Cannibal
Holocaust, and it's apparently one of the. I've never seen it, and I really want to, but it's such a graphically violent movie that's
super
controversial.
Controversial, thank you.
That they actually thought that the actress that the cannibals ate was actually murdered, and they had to bring her in front of the judge and be like, "She's fine, I promise."
Yeah. Like, but like, there's as like this movie like unfolds, how it's like, yeah, college kids they're doing like their like senior thesis on a documentary of this witch lore in this small town. And then they go into the woods and they actually get lost. Everybody knows the story, but maybe not everybody. But the end of it is really what like. Well, there's the tent attack that freaked the fuck out of me. There's them finding the twigs, and I'm like, God damn it! Well, they keep finding more of these things, and the friend disappears. The map is gone, and then they travel in the middle of the night, and lo and behold, they fucking find this cabin that they just fucking appears out of nowhere. And as like the end scene when like the guy first goes down to the basement and then it just cuts and then it's her and then she goes down to the basement and you just see that fucking quick little flash of him standing in the corner, like the story of the kids that had to wait next to get killed for standing in the corner. Camera hits the ground. I was petrified. I was petrified and I was scared to go into my basement for like a month. Like, and we kept like our freezer down there that had all of our Hot Pockets. And this is 1999, so I'm like 13 years old, and I want my fucking Hot Pockets.
You're Kevin McAllister with the
furnace.
Furnace, yeah. I mean, this movie was kind of a one and done for me. I don't feel the need to maybe now because it's been so many years.
It's interesting to go back and rewatch. I tried to. I shared this with all of my Don't Do It friends when we were in the middle of that because I was like, guys, like, yeah, let's like look at some like this is like one of my.
You also were making horror movies that people hadn't seen any horror movies.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, well, we got to see like one of the most iconic ones like this, you know. And
I mean, this started the trend.
This found footage trend, yeah, 100%. But the problem was that
I don't know that. That's my opinion.
It's deemed as one of like the pioneer for it.
Okay.
Yeah. But like when we watched it, we were watching on just like kind of a smaller television with like really not good sound, and I was like, man, sound is really important to this movie. Mm-hmm. Like when I growing up,
you need to hear the twigs snapping and the
like when
rustling.
I for the longest time up until I moved to Seattle, I literally had surround sound systems in my at my parents' house too. Even my own place that I lived, my own place was smaller, but like literally like. My dad was super into like the like home movie experience.
Yeah.
So big screen television. This is back when the boob tube was the big screen television, not the flat screen cool stuff. But like literally like speaker in the left corner, big speaker in the back right corner, a center speaker like below the TV or above the TV, and then speakers behind us and whatnot for like the like extra ambiance. So like. I was hearing the twigs snap around them as they were walking, just like I was in the woods with these people being terrorized. Like,
did you ever play the game?
We both tried to a little bit together.
Oh, it was really glitchy.
Yeah, right. And then also like as now the graphics just don't pull me in. They don't seem too real. They don't seem realistic enough.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean the dog mechanic was cool.
But yeah, this scared the shit out of me. This was possibly one of my like most scared I'd ever been coming out of a movie. Like 12, and I was like, yeah, like 12. I had to have been, yeah, I was like 12, 13. Mm-hmm. Like, ugh.
You watched all these movies at the perfect age.
Except for like Quarantine, maybe. Well, I mean, what, Paranormal Activity 2007? I meant
like Child's Play and like.
Oh, like
13, 14, that's a good Blair Witch.
Well, Child's Play was like 8.
Yeah.
Oh, so because like kind of like Andy's like a young kid.
Yeah, and you're a young kid.
Like, Nightmare on Elm Street. But then I watched like as soon as like Child's Play was like I saw those. Then I went to like I'm like 8, 9. Between like the ages of 8 and 11, I had seen Child's Play, Friday the 13th, Part 1, 2, and 3, almost all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Puppet Master. I think Halloween. Like I turned into this huge fucking like horror freak. Mm-hmm. And my mom was like. Well, my mom was kind of happy because she loves horror movies as well. But yeah.
Blair Witch. Nice.
Blair Witch, yeah. So yeah, what's
My number one is 2014's Tusk. Another weird Justin Long. I put that
I still need to see it. And like everybody that before, like I know everyone that's told me about this movie has said it's one of the most uncomfortable movies to watch.
It's incredibly uncomfortable. It is weird. Directed by Kevin Smith. Concept of Justin Long goes to this guy. I can't remember why he goes to this. Oh,
he's like a journalist.
He's a journalist. That's what it is. He goes to interview this guy in this mansion, this rich old white guy, and basically in the human centipede thing, he's been experimenting with humans, trying to make them into a walrus. Because he was in the Navy or something and got marooned on an island alone, and his best friend was a walrus, a very Wilson.
So he's trying to recreate his best friend.
Yeah, and so he's picking apart and putting back together Justin Long piece by piece to make him into a walrus.
So fucking weird.
It's one of those. It's really disturbing. It's
I
really
really
well
like that. I like that premise though.
It's really well made.
Yeah.
But it's like. I think a part of it too, it's such a bizarre concept to try and wrap your head around that I think that part is like kind of like fear of the unknown thing. You don't get it,
Yeah.
Like you're watching and you're like, I don't get it, and I don't like it. I don't like that I don't get it. And yeah, it was incredibly disturbing. I will never, unless you decide you want to review this one day, I will never watch this movie ever again.
Oh, really?
I ended it and I went, I regret that wholeheartedly.
So, but did you enjoy it in its own fucked up weirdness?
I guess so, because I finished it, but it was one of those kind of like that was one fun time I was like, I need to finish this because what is going on?
Well, I mean, I made it on the list for something like
because it really stood out to me because it stands out. You watch. Be warned. You watch Tusk, you will never forget it.
Yeah,
you're gonna remember this movie, so watch it at your own risk if you want, because I would have been very okay with never watching this movie.
Man, I got some really fucked up movies I could show you. Like, I mean, I need to watch this obviously still, but like, man, I know some fucked up movies. Other outside of like a Serbian film and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I be warned. Watch it if you. I mean, because I'm sure like, oh, Kevin Smith did a horror movie. Like, cool, let's watch it. It's like, yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, this is around the time that he did a Red State right after this or right before this, I think.
What's Red State?
So do you remember when Kevin Smith was like had the Mormon church against him? Like,
no.
I think you would like Red State. Has a John Goodman in it.
Oh, I've seen this poster before.
Yeah. It's a big what's the best way to describe it?
Set in Middle America, a group of teens receive an online invitation for sex, though they soon encounter fundamentalists with a much more sinister agenda.
Yeah, so like it's a huge commentary on religious fundamentalism. Mm-hmm. Huge like how people would stand outside of like an abortion clinic and be like, "You're killing everybody, you're going to hell,"
mm-hmm.
stuff like that, and then it goes into like that weird like cult leader thing.
You kind of correct me if I'm wrong. What you're describing kind of reminds me of weirdly, not plot entirely, but like the feel of like Green Room.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like cousins.
Like
they're cousins. They're not like identical, but there's like similarities.
No.
Between Green Room and the Red State.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm like, what are you not getting here?
When you said cousins, I thought you meant like people in the movie Red State, like they were cousins.
No, like these two movies are like cousins to each other.
Yeah. I mean, red, green. Are you just pulling out the colors right now?
No, the whole like teenagers stuck in this really hostile environment when they were under the impression of it not being like a hostile environment.
Well, I mean, it turns into more of a story, not really about the teenagers, but about the religious fundamentalist group. And
is John Goodman the bad guy?
No.
Bummer.
But he does have a really good performance in it.
Okay. Because I was just like, because then I'll be like 100%. Because then you have Patrick Stewart and Green Room as the bad guy, and then John Goodman as the bad guy in this. That'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of a tangent. I mean, we pulled that tangent out from Kevin Smith. So, but yeah, so that was your number one was Tusk, which I think that's a lot better than what you were gonna say before, honestly, because I think Tusk had the way that you talked about Tusk. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's our 5 scary. Do you have any? Did you think of any like honorable mentions as we were like?
No, really, like, well, I mean, we brought up The Strangers. Maybe there was something. Oh, VHS kind of like had moments of like scaring me, but I don't think VHS was scary.
VHS was cool.
Yeah.
Because all 3 of them were actually cool. I mean, only got like Womp Womp
when
the
third one. I didn't like it.
I like the third one. I just don't like they took away that whole subplot.
The sitting man.
Yeah, like that was kind of bummer. They got rid of that thing because that was interesting. Like there's a man behind the curtain kind of thing. I want to throw out, I thought of this as we were talking. The Descent.
That did freak me out.
That's a freaky movie. That was cool. Like I know we were talking about like with the night vision and the ambiance, like how silent that movie is, and and you have to be quiet, and that was a cool movie.
That's a very tense movie,
and the way it ends too.
Yeah,
was cool.
It's interesting, like looking at like in comparing our lists. Like I very much like ghost stuff really scare me. Like that's really what it comes down to, and I think it's like,
and mine's more like creature feature.
Yeah,
I don't like monster. I like monsters.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I always call myself a monster man.
Yeah.
Been like to draw monsters and stuff. I like creature features.
Yeah. I mean, you do like your creatures. And I think what happens is at some point, like I think you want to find that creature that does like freak you out.
It's like this hunt for the white whale. You're looking for the one that's like, oh, that monster, that one's fucked up.
And like, I really don't want that with my ghost. Like ghost movies just freak me out so bad. And I think it's like, I don't want to say I don't believe in ghosts, and I don't want to say that I do believe in ghosts.
I believe in ghosts.
I know you do. Like, you very hardcore believe in ghosts.
I'm a superstitious motherfucker, which I think people are surprised to find out from me.
100%. Like, it still surprises me when we talk about it, I'm like, oh, that's right, you're fucking weird.
When people like break the rules and I correct them, and they're like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm dead serious. If you're going to do that, go away from me. Don't be fucking with that.
That's why I like to fuck with you so hard.
Like, don't be fucking with that shit.
It's like, it's so like, if we were in an actual like ghost movie, Tommy would be the one like, fuck off, let's go. And I would be the one that's like, poking at the ghost that would die. Or like,
I would be the one that everyone should have listened to from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
And because of your stupid actions, I get killed.
So what you're saying is because my stupid actions, you get killed and I save the day?
Probably. I'd be the one. No, I would. I'd be like the one that's like, oh, we should have listened to Tommy the whole time.
Oh,
like,
yeah, because you would be Jamie Kennedy's character from Scream.
Yeah. You know, like, yeah, 100%. There are strict rules you follow. You break those rules, you die.
Oh, man.
I'll be right back.
Did they find her liver in the mailbox? I'm pretty sure they found her liver in the mailbox.
God damn it, there was something I wanted to say about the whole ghost thing with me, but maybe it's just not worth it. I think it's also it's kind of like it terrifies me because if it is real, that's terrifying. I don't want it to be real. It's just because, like I said, like that those nights of just like it's still like, even if I haven't watched a scary movie, I get the wrong thought in my head while I'm lying in bed. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be awake for another hour trying to forget that image.
It's just like, fear is just a very fun thing. You know, the panic you get when you're in the shower washing your hair and you don't want to get shampoo in your eyes, so you gotta get off real quick. You know,
I just let it happen nowadays.
You gotta look when you hit the curtain. You know.
Sorry.
We'll end up this, but real quick, I just want to ask: did you like The Others?
Yeah, I did, but I did not find it scary at one bit.
No, that was a very interesting. That was because that wasn't a horror movie. That was a ghost story.
Yeah, it's a ghost story. It is horror, but like kind of like how that's the second season of the Haunting of
Hill House.
Yeah, it's not Haunting of Hill House, but it's the Haunting of Bly Manor. Like, it had moments that are kind of like, ooh, spooky, and like maybe jump scares and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it was just more of like a classic horror or like ghost story.
Well, yeah, and I feel like when you say this, it's like deemed as a bad thing, but it romanticized death.
The Others? Or it's both of them, kind of.
All of them, like these
Yeah.
ones, because it's like there's something peaceful and
Romanticize in that way.
Yeah, like
Okay.
romanticize it, that there is something actually peaceful and a completion to a journey with death, and it's not this. It kind of
Well, I mean, but these are kind of like. Are you talking? Oh, so like the journey to find that completion.
to find the completion.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's something kind of like romanticized about it, and
Well-
it's kind of just part of the natural course how things go.
And I guess that's kind of like, yeah, because, and especially in a narrative sense, like if you're going to make a story about ghosts, now if the ghosts be the main characters, what is a ghost's ultimate goal at the end of the day? It technically can't be about love because they've already lost love. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
but that's what I mean. I don't mean like love.
no, but I'm saying, so like, yeah, no, like in a narrative sense, it can't be about love for a ghost because they're probably stuck there because of love. It's about letting go, or it's about becoming to terms of the death to move on to whatever realm is beyond our fucking
behind the
existence of
veil
reality
or whatever. Yeah.
Heaven or hell, or Mars dimensions. I don't know.
Sand. What is it? Saturn worms. What are they called?
And what?
Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah. No. Oh, the sandworms.
Sandworms. I hate them. I hate them too. All right, everybody. Do you want to tell them what we're doing next week?
Oh yeah. I was like, wait, what are we doing next week? Yeah, next week, sticking into like kind of like the meta satire action movie genre, we're gonna be doing Shoot 'Em Up.
Clive Owen, Paul Giamatti,
Monica Bellucci. Oh, she's such a babe. But yeah, we're doing Shoot 'Em Up next week, and it'll be fun if you guys want to watch it. We'll give it a watch. Actually, yeah, try to watch it before we do the review.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Go ahead and like watch it with us, kind of thing, and then you'll know what we're talking about.
And then call us in. Well, no, this isn't live. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the list and our banter, and yeah, hope you have a good week.
Yeah, all of our episodes can be found on pretty much all major streaming sites. So go ahead and check it out. Tell your friends if you enjoy it, and we'll talk to you later. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Yeah.